If you want to know how to make a catchy and bouncy West Coast type beat in FL Studio, then you've come to the right place. I'm Nakul from Nakul Beats, and in this tutorial I'm going to be sharing with you tips and tricks you can use to get that catchy West Coast sound. So first of all, we need to find a melody. And to do that, you'll go into the channel rack and find a good instrument to make the melody out of. I'm going to use Surge, which is a free VST you can find online. I'm just going to delete this sampler off first because we're not going to use it. To get that catchy sound, we can use something called syncopation, which is where you put the notes on off beats. So I've got this rhythm in mind. So first I'm going to reduce the tempo to about 90 BPM. Let's raise it to 93, which is what West Coast beats are usually set around. The downbeats would be this over here and the 1. So 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is the 4th beat of the bar. But if you go in between these, the melodies become a lot more interesting. Okay. Okay, I quite like that melody right now, but I don't like the instrument it's being played in, so I'm gonna switch it to something else now. So now what I'm gonna do is just copy over the whole melody by just pressing Ctrl V and shifting it across a bit. I don't want it to be the same throughout, so at the end of the 4th bar, I'm gonna change it up a little bit. Now I'm gonna put some effects on this melody just real quick. And now also, a lot of these West Coast beats have a synth bass playing in the background, so I'm gonna find something like that now. I'm just gonna come up with a quick pattern. I'm gonna keep the same rhythm for this part, so it sounds a bit like this. I've right now pitched up the bass so that I can hear the notes properly, then I'll pitch it back down to like what it'll actually sound like. I'm gonna press Ctrl L to lengthen out all the notes. I'm gonna take this basic clap, I'm gonna put it every 2 counts. I'm gonna send this to a mixer track as well and reduce the volume a bit because it's quite loud right now. Okay, I'm not just gonna fill every 2 steps, we'll change it later on. Okay, I'm gonna put a triplet rhythm at the end. Now the kick is also very important in these kind of beats, so I'm gonna do the kick before the 808 to give it some sort of rhythm. I think kick 6 is gonna fit well with the song. Also, open hats are really important, so let's get some of those in. I like open hat 3, let's keep this. Okay. So now to accompany the bells and the melody of this beat, I'm gonna also put a synth lead in. Okay, now I'm gonna split this track up by channel. So it's gonna split everything up to its individual parts, and I'm just gonna drag them down. Okay, now for the 808s. I'm just gonna be playing the kick and the 808 together because I want them to match. For the second part, however, I'm gonna change up this rhythm a little bit. Okay, this is the 808 pattern. I'm gonna lower this down a few octaves to the root note. Obviously, this needs a little bit of EQ, which I'll do now. One more thing that I want to add is a rim shot, so let me do that real quick. They're quite commonly used in West Coast beats. I'm gonna put it in some places where I think it will work well. I'm just gonna copy that same thing into the next part as well. Okay, now that I have pretty much all of the instruments done for the beat, I'm just gonna mix it up and show you the final outcome. And lastly, in these West Coast type of beats, before the drop happens, this type of repetition, I'll show you what I mean. This type of repetition occurs. And then the drop hits. So now I've just finished the beats and this is the final product. I've not completely finished it, but this is the intro and this is the chorus because I don't want to stretch it for too long. So this is the final product.